are back, ladies, gentlemen, and MBs, for the start of our Valpo Varsity Overwatch here at Valpo Esports. I'm your host, Diadem. I'm here with my co-host.
Yeah.
And we'll be taking on Illinois State today for our final game in the MVC season for this semester. So, really excited. Hopefully, going to be able to put a capstone on it. And obviously, speaking about that roster, as we move in, Valpo is going to have Atlas, Lycabus, Fusic, Meepo, and NH Cool Stuff. You've seen these people play before. You've seen, you've seen how well they work together, right? Especially going on the comps like this Lucio Kiriko backline on Ilios, right? This is what this team practices. We did have an Echo ban actually come out from Valpo as well, so going to be able to shut down a little bit of a higher spot, but it looks like Vapor has not loaded in yet. We might have a tech pause. I would not be surprised if they're gonna tech pause this. It looks like Vapor's not ready to go. It happens. Sometimes you just DC early, right? You lose a connection. I've had it multiple times before, but this does give a little bit of time to talk about comp-wise because we saw both people roll out. We are on delay, so it's not like there's any info that we can't talk about right now being on pause. They did come out on ball, which was a little bit interesting because usually we see Fusic come out on ball. We like the rollouts on Ilios, but Fusic actually coming on Diva, which I will say Diva is the strongest tank in the game right now. That's just hands down. She just kind of does everything that your team needs, and her damage numbers are off the charts. We're just going to go back into the lobby as we restarted live PC. I do like, obviously, both teams are going with the Kiriko Lucio backline. It's Ilios, and none of the supports are banned there, so you can't really complain at that point, right? Like, that's just kind of what you do as these characters. It really is the DPS role that I feel like is the difference in a lot of these comps. We saw, I know Valpo came out on the Emery, right? And that was a little bit excuse me, not Valpo coming out on the Emery, but ISU came out on the Emery. A lot of people like Emery. Emery stocks have gone up since the buff. The biggest question that you kind of have to ask between your hit scan right now is that it's either you pick Emery or Sojourn, right? Those are your two best hit scan people in the game, right? You have to pick one of them. Sojourn works a lot better on flatter maps, right? Somebody that can get a lot better use out of the dash, while Emery kind of is the better, aerial flight, right? You have the shift, which gives you a lot of survivability into dive, a lot of survivability on maps with a lot of verticality, right? Emery kind of fills that role. So you're going to see Hitscan choose between those two, and that's really where you get these team comp differences. But I think the advantage that Valpo has right now. Obviously, we didn't see what the flex rolled out on for ISU, but the advantage that Valpo has is that we have a Vendetta player. Atlas plays a lot of Vendetta. Atlas is our flex DPS, right? And he plays a lot of Vendetta, and we're gonna see Vendetta is just one of the strongest picks in the game. Like you can't really go wrong with that pick, especially knowing that Fusic likes to play Zarya. You have the two comps together. You have a lot of matchups together. I think that's the most interesting part about rolling out on these kind of comps. So hopefully, as Vapor loads back into the lobby here, he did just join in. We're gonna double check before we get going, but I think we're gonna be rolling in pretty soon here. They already sent out the R. Sorry, George, as well. I've been yapping this whole time. I haven't really let you get a word in. I apologize about that, but there's a lot to cover. I mean, quite frankly, it's been a minute, right? Spring break and everything. It's been a while since we've been on stream. This is arguably I think our first stream back.
Yeah,
Yes.
This is the first stream back. This
Yes,
is the
yeah.
first day back on campus.
For some reason, I thought it was Friday. I'm already in, I'm still on spring break timing, so I haven't really gotten back into it. But we are gonna load back. I think the only difference that you're gonna see is it's gonna be a different map that we load onto on Ilios, right?
That's interesting. That might actually change everything you just talked about up
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, so it's like, here's the thing, is if you look over here, to these walls, this is what I'm talking about when we say DPS difference. Sojourn has a really hard time getting up on that wall. Sojourn has to use a really, really long cooldown to get up on that wall, which means that the moment she jumps up there, you get knocked off. Emery doesn't have to use that, right? So we're gonna see, even though Sojourn usually is the easier DPS pick, and who a lot of comps, right, and a lot is really preferred. you're gonna see Emery come out of ISU because it just gives you better angles on this map, right? It's a lot more flexible. But okay, Vapor is gonna load out on the Vendetta. I like that. I think what we gotta be careful about is Valpo's playing really risky running Genji Vendetta. We are banking a lot on the fact that we can cover the distance between this comp, because if not, Emery is now a pretty big damage, a pretty big damage dealer. Like, you're gonna be threatened a lot by this range that Emery provides. So if this Emery, plays a little bit more respectful and gives time for the peel, I feel like Valpo's gonna have a hard time getting in. As you're gonna see Fusik instantly dive in and have to dive back out after not getting that. The Kiriko being able to peel, and now NH Coolstuff falling really low underneath Vapor, looking for some kind of trade. Valpo holding 5-man up front here. Gonna be able to get first capture. Nobody dead yet. Emery jumps up really far though, and is immediately gonna get caught out by Atlas. That's the pick that they needed, and now they're on the back foot. Valpo gonna be able to walk forward, and Atlas looking to pull the trigger. Vapor is at least gonna be able to trade one, and Atlas goes in a little bit too far. That trade for ISU was actually so huge for them winning this fight, because off of that, they were just completely out of position. Fusik gonna be able to grab the health pack and a kill on Kiriko here, keeping it alive a little bit. And Meepo with the head tap right there, gonna be able to threaten Vapor. Vapor getting the bubble and forced out. So we're seeing here Valpo go with a little bit of a weird double flex comp, right? That's very dependent on picks and catching people out, like we saw that Emery. But this kind of confident pick from Valpo is giving them a lot of tempo, because Lycabus dashing on point gets the first kill, and now they're gonna push back. Should be another cap for Valpo and take another 30. I mean, biggest thing that we see is this is a very standard comp right now coming out of ISU. It's Zarya Vendetta with Emery as your hit scan, right? You have the strongest backline in the game, and you have an extremely strong combo out of Zarya Vendetta. So if Valpo can make this work with this comp, I feel like it's a really good sign going into this series that they can keep playing a little bit unorthodox. Because ISU is no pushover team. These guys are cold, so you really have to be careful about playing, a really risky spot. But hey, if you're comfortable with it, rock it. But Meepo going up a little bit too early. Fusik still trying to hold up the top left, but two have dropped down on the bottom right, so I feel like you flipped the map a little bit. Sortex with a triple kill pushing onto the site, and all that's left is Fusik and Lycabuzz. With no healers, they're just forced to disengage. You're waiting for ultimates, but you're gonna see a lot of people get, Fusik gets demeched right there. Oh wait, no, sorry. I apologize. I was looking at it for a second. I thought he had dropped self-destruct in that fight. Fusik's gonna keep the retake. I mean, you're coming up on almost 5 ults here. The really big difference is that Atlas has just been the first kill in, like 2 of these fights. Hasn't really had time to build up ult charge, and is going to be behind. It's gonna be 5 for 4. Atlas is not going to get it this fight, while Sortex definitely is going to get it this fight. So you really have to be careful. It's all going to be about winning out with the less ult charge. As Emery immediately popped the ult right there, going to look for some kind of takeover. Gets the ult up in the top. You're going to have the beat drop as well for Valpo. You're going to disengage that. The beat drop down for ISU as well. Both people playing with barriers. Fusik going to probably be the first one to drop low. NH Coolstuff falling really, really low in there. The reload almost going to be another huge thing there. And Atlas is actually going to get the first pick. The Mega, they're saving him alive. Here comes all the ults. The gates are open, but ISU gets the Graviton out. It's going to be able to get the first trade. They're looking for the second one right there, but Lycabus is looking to turn it around again. The Suzu's going to be able to keep Kiriko up for the longest time. Almost drops Fusik getting the kill, but he doesn't get the reset to Lycabus. That's actually tragic, because this fight is completely in the favor of ISU now. Not being able to get out the trades there with that Genji blade was so pivotal, and now you're going to see the barrier dropped out there. Vapor not actually getting anything, and now you're down 1. Yeah, if Atlas wants to look for this, okay, here comes the Vendetta ult out of ISU. They're pushing up to the top. Hadal's going to be able to trade off on that. Atlas looking to dash up on point. 98%, 99%, but no touches. ISU, a full confirm here off the back of 1 really huge fight win with just ult dumps galore, and then being able to win out and stagger there.
Yeah, it kind of felt like the entire map, once Valpo got control of the point, they moved a little too far forwards and almost were not able to stay complacent with the fact that they had the point and that the percentage was ticking up, and they continued to get picked off one by one, and then it became a 4 versus 5 for ISU, which is not too difficult to win, especially when you're losing something like your DPS, and like you mentioned, having Cat 2 flex DPS, the damage output just really isn't there to keep up then at that point. So
No, I completely agree. I mean, you run to the issue, and you're gonna have a Symmetra rollout with Tracer here on this point. I do like Tracer better than Vendetta on this point. I feel like Tracer has a lot of angles, a lot of health packs to play with that are in good proximity, but Valpo going to come out in the exact same comp, and it's gonna work there, right there. The burst damage on Tracer is gonna be able to get the first pick, and now Valpo kind of has free reign up top as Lycabus gets a nice head tap right there, and then sets up the Lucio kill as well. That's gonna be 3 down. The only person left is Emery on point with the tank disengaging. And also, tank coming out on ball there. I like the swap back to D.Va. I think D.Va is, the moment that you see D.Va is on this map, you kind of have to mirror it. But, oh, okay. ISU, good swap. This is a really solid swap. Pharah is not that useful. Pharah is insane, not only on this map, but into Valpo's comp right now. This is gonna get competitive because Valpo has to figure out some kind of way to deal with the Pharah. I feel like that's just free damage without a lot of punishment unless the Pharah drops out with a lot of fuel. She manages her fuel well enough and is able to tag D.Va. I feel like you're sitting at a good spot. Bye-bye, Henry. A nice bump from NH Cool Stuff and the pressure from Atlas right there is gonna be able to get that pick. And now you're gonna see Pharah just instantly bumps away. Right, like that's the issue here is now you used a lot of cooldowns to get that. If ISU doesn't get picked off on the other side of the DPS, I feel like Vapor can kind of just run a lot of these fights. And though Valpo has been playing extremely well, being able to get these picks early, right? They kind of shut down fights before they can happen, but now Farah's going to take a back point as Valpo dives into the side. There's no Suzu. Suzu coming out of Valpo as well. There's going to be no Suzus on both sides, but you're going to have 3 on point. Sortex with the first pick, and Flores getting the second one. Lycabus is almost pushed off the point, but he's kind of stuck in a bad spot. Almost dropping. They're going to be able to grab the health pack, but Vapor finishes it off there, and all that's left is Fusic on point. Gonna get D-Mech to NH Cool Stuff, tries to disengage, and then just kills himself to make sure he doesn't stagger. NH Cool Stuff is gonna be able to get out, so Valpo gonna be able to regroup after 59% there. Almost 60 like last map.
yeah, you've got a solid lead here. ISU won't catch up by the time you're able to get back percentage-wise, but we're not gonna see a switch out of Valpo. And Valpo actually banned the Echo, so I'm surprised it took this long for them to go back to such an aerial-based character.
Yeah, obviously, like, Vapor does play Echo. Like, you don't just ban Echo off rip if you're not ready to deal with it, right? So you should expect a flyer, but Fusic right there jumping in. Vapor a little bit out of position, going to be able to execute that. Lycabus immediately with the triple kill. The dash through and the swipe getting 3. Looking for the 4th, but D.Va's just going to drop. The fight is over. A huge blade right there from Lycabus. Making up for that last round. Going to be able to flip the point 63% and moving forward.
Yeah, really huge. You did use the beat, but you've got the gates out of Meepo here. So it's going to be support all for support all. In this next fight, I'd assume Meepo's probably just going to look to hold on to that unless there's a really good opportunity to just kind of get out. There's the Emerald popped immediately. Meepo is super low.
Both DPS outs pulls are actually going to go out here and be able to pick off both of the backline of Valpo. So it's just DPS and Fusic on point, but Fusic does have Remake. Going to look for any kind of trade here. Is not going to bop the self-destruct. I like that decision. All right, just hold it. All that stuff is going to be Fusic, Atlas, Lycabus holding on point there. Try to get any percentage. It is going to be 96 as ISU ticks on 50, but this is a good spot for Valpo. I mean, you force both DPS ults out, and now you're in an extremely similar situation. Quite frankly, it's Kitsune versus Beat, right? I think in this case, you have to pop Kitsune earlier because if you don't play if you don't force them to react with beat, you're never going to get that beat out, right? You really don't want to get to a point to where they're chunking to 80% and you don't have that out yet. But NH Cool Stuff getting out a little caught behind here as Vapor sits up top. The damage from Sortex boost is going to be enough. Fusic almost getting bumped off the point there. Has to be a bit careful. It's going to drop down. Gets the Suzu from Meepo. Is going to be able to stay alive as now. Here comes the beat we were talking about. It's 80%. And now you have to trade because Atlas is going to be able to jump in and get one. He is going to go 1 for 1 though, and Valpo is forced to disengage, but you're not at full capacity to drop these gates now. You have to walk up and try and force a crazy fight because you do have Vendetta ult, but they're just in such an uncomfortable spot as there comes the Kitsune and the Suzu out really early. Valpo needs to get some kind of pick here. ISU has disengaged pretty properly as 99% on the point. They're in overtime. Vapor almost dying there, gonna be able to bump him away, but 2 a drop from Valpo. You don't have any DPS left. All that's left are the people on point. Meepo gonna be able to Suzu TP back in to try and stay alive on Fusic. Jumps back to the corner. NH Cool Stuff looking for some kind of boop. Looking for Emery. Does find the Emery boop though to trade off, but Vapor with a double kill is gonna be able to trade that out. The Remax attack as well coming from the side, and all that's left is Atlas and Point. Just has to ult as ISU picks up the second map and the win for this, the second point and the win for this map. There we go. As yeah, Lycabus finishing it off. It's gonna be nice to catch this play because it was a pretty clean triple kill. I feel like it was off the reset if I remember. But it's exactly what you're looking for. Okay, well, hey, sometimes they just fall in your lap. You cannot complain about that. But yeah, I think honestly it was just that very end. Valpo had a really good spot, but ISU does a great job being able to corner their picks and kind of focus on what Valpo was finding weak in their comp. They had a lot of success getting early picks, but the moment that those fights slowed down, right? It's the same idea as having a hit scan DPS, which is when fights slow down, when fights become long corridors, you need just raw damage output, and that's what hit scans do, right? Flexes are really good for catching people out and burst damage, but Pharah is a rare flex in the sense that Pharah can burst people, right? Like jumping down on people, but she also is just a different angle you have to fight at, right? She's another DPS tracker that you have to find, someone that does a lot of damage if not paid attention to, but can take a different angle than your hit scan, right? So that's where that niche part that Pharah falls into comps like really comes into play, because they didn't need somebody to burst damage, they needed somebody to take a different angle, right? You still want the distance, take a different angle. Pharah fits in perfectly there, and hey, you'd make a good swap. ISU played well along with it using their ult charge, and they took first map, but quite frankly, I'm excited because that was a really good map. Like, even though Valpo went out 2-0 on that, they gave good fights. There's definitely stuff they can pick up on, and there's stuff that you can easily make a swap for. So I think this is a promising head start for Valpo, or excuse me, not head start, promising start for Valpo, a head start for ISU. And we are going to take a slight break here in the booth as we get to game 2, and we'll give you guys the maps and bans. are back, ladies, gentlemen, and MVs, for the start of our Map 2 here in this Valpo versus Illinois State Varsity Overwatch MVC match. I'm your host, Idem. I'm here with my co-host.
Yeah.
And we're going to be moving on to Atlas. The bans for today, it's going to be Cass and Kiri for this map, so that's why you're seeing a little bit of a different backline, right? Obviously, Lucio's still a staple, especially on Flashpoint maps, and both these teams play Lucio, but the backline is really where I want to focus on this match, especially because Bap and Juno offer very different things, right? They're both hit scans, but you're getting speed with Juno, but Baptiste has a lot more of a lockdown capability, as you're going to see Fusick instantly getting bumped out there. Lycabuzz at least going to be able to trade one. Fusick trades the second one, but this fight is already as scrappy as can be. Lycabuzz with a double kill, pushing back a little bit. And usually we see Atlas on the Reaper, but obviously you want to still run the Vendetta, and Atlas is our Vendetta player, so it makes sense that you kind of keep this range. You're still not running a hit scan, but quite frankly, I don't know why I keep asking to run a hit scan. These guys don't run hit scans. like our team is double flex, and we've been known for double flex. That's what we do. I'm not gonna ask them to swap anything up here. I do know it's possible, but I feel like they're just playing with a little bit of comfort here because they're only down one map, right? All things considered, Atlas gonna be able to trade. It is gonna be 1-for-1, and Valpo being able to flip the point as well, but Atlas then dropping Meepo as well, falling behind, and it feels like all these fights are starting really strong for Valpo, but the moment they last longer than those quick engages, they are just falling because you just don't have the damage for it.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see if they swap. Like they're still not gonna opt for it. I mean, we've seen Atlas switch to Soldier and the hit scan kind of champions, you know, and leave Lycabuzz on Genji, but yeah, looks like they're gonna stay stubborn.
Yeah,
try to roll through this.
You just when you're playing,
it's gonna work though.
When you're playing weird stuff like this, you gotta do something weird. Like that's the trade-off, is that you have to play something weird here. And you're gonna see Vapor actually dropping first there with the surprise attack from Atlas around the corner, and then Fusick now on point. Again, this is a good start for Valpo. They gotta hold together. Oh, a nice overhead right there. It's gonna be able to at least trade a tank, so it is gonna be a tank versus no tank coming on point here. We're gonna see if ISU wants to contest this. I don't think they will because Valpo's already made the cap. So Flores getting a little bit too close, probably dropping down from the point accidentally, trying to jump back up, and Fusick immediately gonna be able to trade that. So now that's a huge stagger. That's going to hold him a 4v5 and probably squeeze this early capture to probably one fight and then a stagger kill to Valpo secure this, because 70% already and sitting on ults. Graviton at the early thing here. Yep, there's the pop right there. It's immediately going to catch down both. The beat is going to be dropped into return. Fusick stepping up and just taking way too much damage. The beat is not dropped early enough. Lycabuzz going to be able to at least trade out one, but two have already fallen. And it's cool stuff dropping as well. Oh, man. We were just going to sink everything into that. We just didn't sink it fast enough. There were too many picks before we dropped any support ult. And now Shiny Hero going to be able to trade that off. It's just rough. I mean, yeah, there's the cap right there. Valpo, all this left is try and contest this with a 2v4. They're going to jump back still. Might as well send it, right? You're already so close. Both bubbles being used on Fusick, but just gets instantly bursted. Alice can be able to find one with the ult, but the overtime is taken away, and Valpo is now stuck to a really, really slow stagger. And Cool Stuff gets a second one, and that's going to be point capture for ISU. Valpo now on the back foot, moving on to this second map as well. Or second point, excuse me.
Yeah, a little bit of an overcommit there. I mean, you're playing Zarya. You know the Zarya bubble can come out from the other side off the grab. You're gonna look to protect somebody. So I don't know if I don't think Fusick was shooting somebody that was bubble off the grab, but just kind of was doing no damage even on full charge there. Managed to trade two back with the Reaper off, but by that point, once you've lost your tank, you get
nice bump. And Cool Stuff, although he does fall, he is able to bump Vapor away, which actually gives Valpo another fighting chance at this, because you're going to see Atlas did swap to the Soldier. They are a little bit deep in, right? Obviously, that damage from the ult pushed them into an uncomfortable spot. Fusick's still alive, though, trying to keep Atlas up and not having any bubbles, not only for Atlas, but for himself either. And Cool Stuff going to back up Vapor, TPing in, trying to get any kind of damage, but obviously a little bit deep here, 20% on the clock for ISU. Now, you do have the comp switch up that I like. But you have to be careful about the ult charge, right? Being able to track it up, because you have Baptiste window, which can shut down a choke point, especially this early one, really, really quickly. As you're going to see, Flores is probably just waiting for some kind of angle. You just need Valpo to commit. The moment Valpo commits, yeah, there it is. And there's the hard commit, and immediately going to pop out to the corner. And you have a nice spot here to get a lot of damage. It's going to force Lycabus and everybody else down to the side. Vapor getting the first one, but Lycabus trading out the tank, so you are going to have a little bit of an advantage here. I mean, tank versus no tank is usually pretty rough, but for Vapor, really nice corner, really nice spot here in the corner. You're going to be able to pick off the first support. Valpo falling a little bit low, and then Flores dropping down. The lamp going to be able to keep him alive. Lycabus at least trading out one before falling, but now Fusic just a little bit too far and then sunk a little bit too much into it. They are going to get one trade off of it, but right, your Atlas versus Lucio and then tank on this, on the point, it's just a little bit rough. And now you have to force and speed your team back here. 75%. You have one fight left with the speed, but it's going to get scrappy because you're going to have to use your cooldowns to actually get back to this point. At 93%, you're going to be fighting Graviton, Heat, and Emery as well to try and hold this point. So it's kind of deciding what you can get away with. So now you can see Hidal dropping a little bit low. There's the Graviton coming to ISU. The beat is dropped as well in turn. Reaper trying to get any, try and trade off. The shield is going to, the lamp is going to be able to keep him up as he trades one for NA's cool stuff. Still have Fusic jumping around the corner. Does have barrier 100% shield, but no more barriers left. Going to be able to trade out Flores, getting a little bit close. Here comes the Visor as well with the Juno beam. It's going to be huge with Vapor. Gets the reset and the reload off of the Wraith form. And going to be able to just shred him instantly. Second point going to ISU there off a really scrappy ult trade.
Yeah, so ISU only needing one more capture here. Go up 2-0 in this best of 5. Valpo ult economy is just in shambles right now in comparison. I just think the management, honestly, the usage, when they're deciding to use them just hasn't been super optimal. And ISU's kind of been able to shut it down when Valpo's committing multiple, just one. And been able to play the game that usually Valpo plays against other teams. Always has something up ready to pull any attack. The Emery ult's going to find Nepo really fast, so that's going to kill all momentum. There goes both supports. Everyone for Valpo should fall here.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, now we're seeing that ult economy in action, right? Emery ult, especially being hard to deal with Emery in the air right now. You just can't, you can't ever win trades like that, right? Like, Emery's always going to just out-damage that, especially if you saw a backline falling first. Not exactly much cover you can get outside of the Fusic bubble, so moving on to that. Now, you're dealing with both support ults, right? You don't have beat, you don't have beam, and you're dealing with their beat, so you can't really Graviton for free. Yeah, Lycabus has a hard time. They're going to be able to drop the window, but Lycabus trying to work around them, but he just gets bumped back, and then Shiny Hero being able to trade it off, and Vapor picking off Meepo as well. All that's left is Fusic, and Fusic and its cool stuff, and Atlas on point, but you know, all the damage you can try and get. Fusic actually with a double kill being able to trade the backline, but Shiny Hero being able to walk around and just finish off on the health, and 80% on the clock. I don't think Valpo can really hold up much favor here because all you have is a TP on point. You're going to see, yeah, Vapor and Sortex walking up trying to just cover a little bit of space. There's the damage, like was getting healed out a little bit using the Wraith form to try and touch, but the Graviton catches him right there. Speed up for NA's cool stuff on the rollout. It's actually going to save him. Then the Graviton is hit. It's going to be able to hit 3, but the beat is dropped right there, and Vapor also dropping his ult to try and keep everybody away. Sortex getting the first trade. Flores and Sortex finishing off that fight, and then overtime, all that's left. Meepo getting bumped away 100%, and then 3 points. Going over to ISU in a 3-0 win on map 2, pushing them to 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, map 3, it's just going to be, can Valpo come out on something that's going to match the damage output, because they keep getting everyone low, and then they're just not able to finish it, and then once one falls, the rest of the team kind of crumbles one by one afterwards. So be very interesting to see what they come up with. Maybe they swap L in. L is typically, I feel like, playing hit scan whenever he gets subbed in, but I don't know if they're gonna look to make that change.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. At this point, they obviously they have a different game idea of what we're looking for, right? Like it's sometimes there's not always one way to solve an issue, right? And obviously, Coach Bryce is working with something else. Like he's looking at some kind of angle, different than what we're seeing. But obviously, you know, there's multiple ways to solve this issue. So we'll see what corrections they want to make. as we take a break, and we'll catch you guys at the start of map 3 with bans and the actual map. And we are back, ladies, gentlemen, and MVs, for the start of our map 3 of this Valpo versus ISU Varsity Overwatch in the MVC League. I'm your host, Adam. I'm here with my co-host.
Yeah.
Currently, ISU is up 2-0 in the series right now. Pretty dominant wins as well. First round looking a little bit better for Valpo than the second round. Second round a little bit rougher. But as we roll out here, you're going to see a ball mirror actually start off, which is pretty funny. And also, now that Kiriko is unbanned, it is interesting that they are going with the Ana over the Kiri, right? Especially on a push map and mirroring your tanks. I do wonder if that's just what Flores feels comfortable in, or if they want to time up a biotic grenade with a ball slam, right? There's obviously a million different reasons that you can run these both. You're gonna see Tracer instantly jump in here from Vapor and then get picked off by NH Cool Stuff off the dive, not even being able to recall at that moment. Lycabus also in kind of a terrible position right now, knowing that his team is over to the left, trying to stay alive. He's got 10 health, but does actually almost gets out, but no. Atlas also dropping Swordtex with the double kill right there, and now they just push out this robot. A little bit of a rough spot, I feel like, for Valpo. Bandage School Stuff, yeah. It's a rough stagger now. He is gonna die. Fusik, I don't think he's paying attention, but Fusik's still not being able to get that kill. Just A little bit, not enough DPS, not enough DPS. You know, just in the kit in general. Not his fault.
Yeah, we're actually gonna see, you know, something I think you mentioned when we were off stream is that we're sure if Meepo played the Brig, but we're actually just gonna see NH Cool Stuff move off of Lucio and play, which is really interesting. It's always the Lucio.
Yeah, it's the thing with Brig is like the other main support that you can play, but Brig is now really situational, right? When you're playing into ball and Tracer as a dive, I feel like Brig's pretty good. It's kind of harder to pull off on push maps, but I don't think the pick is a bad pick at all. Shiny Hero getting the first kill right there. Being able to start it off, it is going to be a 4v5. Looking for the trade on Tracer. Tracer jumping around the backside, trying to finish off like a bus there, but the stick is going to do it. Really nice toss before the recall, and that's actually going to be the second kill. Brig trying to stay alive in this corner. Atlas at least going to be able to trade off one, but this fight is already looking really rough for Valpo. They're going to jump up a nice sleep there from Ana, being able to save her life, I think, because Music doesn't get the slam off, and now Atlas with some kind of health back. Going to see if Vapor tracks him down. He does. That's going to be a kill, and now Valpo, as this robot is pushing 75 meters, it is just a stagger fest. They just cannot get anything going here, because now here comes the nano and then the visor as well coming outside of ISU. That's a lot of damage. Meepo at least going to be able to get the first trade right there on the back of Lycabus and Fusing. Quick head tap. NH Cool Stuff trying to stay alive, kill up any of these mines. Meepo getting knocked out there by Sortex, and now you have a trade. It's just looking tragic. These kills are just coming at such rough times. Lycabus at least going to be able to trade off one. Looking for a second one. This is pretty favorable. Has to hit the right click though. The healing not going to be enough. Hado almost dropping down. Going to see if he's able to get out. Lycabus is now cornered by this, by Ball. And they're just going to have to disengage. Music getting a kill on the backline. Looking for the second one on Ball. This kill on Ball could be huge. You see he does get the health back, and then the shield, off the ability is going to save him there. So they aren't going to be able to stagger Ball. We're going to see how much NH Cool Stuff wants to trade it, but now that Vapor's back on, you kind of have the threat of Tracer Pulse Bomb, right? Because you know it's coming up soon, just, you know, off instinct alone, so have to be a bit careful. I will say Tracer is one of the harder Pulse Bomb, like ults to track, because it does, obviously you get a lot of ult charge for Pulse Bomb, but they see beat is dropped for ICU to try and stay alive in this fight. It's getting a little bit scrappy. Atlas looking for the top trade, and he's Cool Stuff going to be able to walk up and finish off as well. You have the rally popped from Briggs, so you have a little bit of damage. Fusik just trying to escort this, escort the payload. Likewise getting a trade, and now kind of flipped up a little bit aside as Valpo gets their first meters on the board. 95 meters for ISU on their first push, so you do have a pretty steep hill to climb, but definitely, you know, not unclimbable. You still have 6 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, great work out of Valpo there to only commit the Brig ults. They actually have everything else still online. Puts them in the lead when it comes to ult economy for ISU. Obviously, they've got a long way to go here, but much more like Valpo. We didn't see them kind of panic committing everything like we were seeing in those first 2 games. A good job out of Fusik to find the cast.
Yeah. That's another good pick. I mean, they're falling low, but they're playing this angle really well, because you have Ball to kind of cover this side. Atlas jumps in for the pick, not going to be able to find it though. A couple falling low. You are sitting pretty critical on this team right now. You have to be careful about that back. NH Cool Stuff playing peel away from Meepo. This is what you see the break for. Bombs are going to be dropped over point by Fusik, trying to cover a little bit of space. You're sitting on 3 ultimates as well for Valpo, so you have the advantage right now. You just have to be able to use them before they're able to generate anything else. Fusik grabbing another kill right there, trying to look for the bump, looking for the kill on Lucio. Doesn't have to slam yet, because the sleep up top is at least going to slow them out a little bit, but a nice call out from Atlas, dropping down, getting the kill. Vapor with a double kill though on the backline. We were seeing NH Cool Stuff and Meepo, what's called peeling for each other, but Vapor was able to just go up and damage them through all. Lycabus dropping the ult, I think a little bit weird though, only going to be able to use the blade to clear out the bombs there, and then immediately Hadal bumping him back into the mines that he was just trying to clear out now. Is looking really rough for Valpo, because that is another ult dropped with not really much to show for it, because Vapor is going to be able to get back on here soon. Shiny Hero does get picked up by NH Cool Stuff though, and Fusik, I mean, now that you have your 2 supports here, you can definitely play this. You really just have to care for Meepo, I feel like. NH Cool Stuff can keep himself alive, Fusik can keep himself alive. It's really just keeping Kiriko up right now in this backline is how you're going to win this match, but Meepo just falling a little bit too low there, not having any kind of peel as his team drops down on point, and Sortex picking up a double kill in the backline, and you can see just where it stems from. Now that you don't have that support, the rest of your teammates can kind of stay alive. But now Atlas at least gonna be able to trade off Adult in the back. Seeing this is the scrappiest game we've seen all like split. This is there's 1v1s, 2v2s. There has not been a true 5v5, and quite frankly, it's not like they're playing the map wrong. This is just what these comps do. There's no been strong 5v5 because you're playing 2v2 characters, you're playing 1v1 characters, you're playing, you know, people that can get out clean. The only real the only real I think difference between the comps is Brig. Like Brig and Ana are very different characters. So you kind of have a difference in that, and that's what is leading to this kind of lopsided environment now where it's like one team wins heavy, another team wins heavy. Meepo, NH, cool stuff, double kill right there. Should be a triple here coming up. Lycabus being able to finish that off, and Valpo getting control back on the robot. Their ults are coming up as well. This is their chance to turn it. 3 minutes left in the clock, 57 meters. Valpo going to be able to get back to pushing the robot, and they are getting meters now. Fusic getting out a good trade, 200 health, but you do, you're back to your team. So this is your shot. I think a good rush here, and not a good trade. Okay, Lycabus falling a little bit too low there. A really nice bump and then back up. Sortak definitely knows his tech on ball because that was clean to play around. You're going to pop the rally to try and keep away everybody from Meepo here to get a little bit of a trade. The mines are going to be dropped for ISU. Sortak trying to give a little bit of space to beat as well. Drop, save himself from Atlas, but that is a reactive beat. So now you can clear out your Death Blossom if you want. Here comes the Visor Nano. He's going to jump in. Fusic doesn't see the bombs. Meepo and Atlas are going to trade, but Shiny Hero and Vapor just clearing out the back line. The damage is not going to be enough. Lycabus falling down. A nice reflection from Sortak. Oh, and a reset. He's actually going to trade out 2. Almost getting the 3rd there. Almost salvaging that fight, but the 2 there is actually going to be huge because now ISU doesn't really have anybody to hold this other than Vapor. Yeah, Fusic is going to be the first one back up, and he's going to stop any kind of contestant. So Valpo, even though they lost that fight, the scrappiness at the very end means that they didn't lose too much space.
Yeah, but I think the huge thing here has been they have left NH cool stuff to play Protect the President with Meepo, and there's only so much you can do there, right? On Brig with this Tracer. Not exactly the best character for
they swapped the Brig.
Getting the elimination. Yeah, they're gonna swap the Brig, but I think Fusic should just find this, right?
Yeah, it's just delaying that time. All that time that Fusic spent dealing with that, Valpo had to take another fight. Atlas dropped, but NH cool stuff, being able to get the trade in the backline just in a nice shot, and Lycabus winning his ones there against the Soldier. So big, because now we're seeing here, this is what Valpo was looking for, right? This is why I like the Brig swap, is because you play into their comp, it's really reactive, and ISU kind of realize that it is the swap, right? You're playing Protect the President with your other support because whoever dies first in the other supports is going to be big. A Kitsune Rush is dropped here, and the beat as well. Going to try and jump on Brig, but the peel is not going to be enough. A trade there, and Atlas and Fusic winning out the kills as well with the rest of the team. The rally popped for Valpo, so you did trade a lot of ults, but the thing is, that's what you use ult advantage for. Ult advantage means nothing if you don't pop it. So I really like what Valpo did there. They're going to be able to trade out the space, and now you have mines. You can play really reactively here. Coming out of Valpo. Oh, a crazy sleep coming out of Flores is actually going to shut down Fusic on the push. Now you're going to have to deal with it. Yeah, you pop it reactively. You have to play a little bit damaging here. It's gonna get a bit rough. Meepo, you now had to disengage. You used so many resources. A nice slam from Fusic though. Looking for the second one. Does get stuck. I mean, stuck the tank if it works. Excuse me, stick the tank if it works. You know what I mean? Sugar Free would be proud. Because Shiny Hero and Vapor trading out too. It's gonna be a 2-for-2, but in overtime, that's what ISU needs. They need to be able to kill this momentum away from Valpo because they do have the lead. They're gonna have to win multiple fights here for Valpo. So quite frankly, if you're Lycabus, Atlas can at least get away. Yeah, Lycabus just dashes in, try to kill yourself, right? You have to force them to take multiple fights, not just one, right? So if you can meet up early here, know that you have the space, you get the slam down, not going to be able to get anything, but you do tag Vapor on the backside, trying to get a little bit of a trade. Valpo is really split here, but I feel like this is kind of by design at this point, right? They're trying to force them in a weird fight. You don't want them to force a fight on Robot because you need to pull them off, right? You want to threaten the chance of a C9, or if you take a fight here, you know that they have to keep one on point. use that numbers advantage and take this in the back. The visor is going to be popped in, will kill Atlas, but you have forced a little bit of a trade. Oh, Lycabus doesn't have to reflect though up in time. He is gonna fall, and now it's looking a little bit rough because they didn't get the trades they wanted to on the off angle, and it's just getting shattered. Overtime, 100%. You still have 30 meters, so you're gonna have one fight left. It's realistically gonna be in this scatter right here. You have to make sure that you can get on the point without using too many resources. You can see the meter on the bottom. It's 115, 15 meters left. ISU is approaching. This is for the series. Valpo is fighting to stay alive here because Fusic's swinging on the back, gonna look immediately around. 95% does have the mines, gonna pop the mines on point. That's gonna be a huge ult to area denial. Now you push in, you have the Mega to the left that you can play with. Hadol gets the first pick on Atlas. Atlas going a little too far, but the Kitsune Rush is here. The bomb is not going to be able to get anybody. You're still looking for the first kill. Lycabus drops the ult. Overtime ticking away. Looking for the first kill. Kiriko dashes around. You're not going to find it. The Kitsune Rush is actually going to be huge. It is cool stuff. And Meepo dropping first. Lycabus dropping second. And this fight is just slaughtered for Valpo. They dropped ults first, but they weren't able to find anything from it. And overtime ticking away. The win going to ISU in overtime. Valpo losing this series 3-0 on a loss, or excuse me, on a last chance effort.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely there. Fortunately, I didn't find it at all with the play of the game. This was actually a fight for second place, seeding-wise, going into the championship. So both teams have lost to Missouri State, who has kind of separated themselves, I guess, as the top dog in the conference.
Yep. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. I think Valpo definitely, I don't know if it's coming off of the spring break. I would assume that probably is.
Yeah.
You know, 2 weeks out. Only school I know of that does a 2-week spring break. So 2 weeks, you know, maybe they were playing Overwatch. I'm going to assume they probably weren't playing much Overwatch.
Is any lurkers that are looking to come to Valpo? It's a good reason. 2-week vacation for spring break.
They're actually changing that next year. They're going to 1.
I'm
right
senior.
When you leave. Yep.
I'm a senior. Yep. I do not
out.
care. Hey, it is what it is. Sorry, y'all.
Yep. But a little slow. I think we'll see that change as they play their 3 GLEC games at the end of this week. They got Friday and the 2 on Saturday. Looking actually to end up as the number 1 seed in their side if they win 3-0, 3-0 for both of those, which they're in a pretty good spot to do so. Looking at the teams they have to play, they'll end up as the number 1 seed in the West side, so that'll be pretty huge for them. Looking forward at the rest of this week, we were supposed to have a Smash stream Wednesday for the last Missouri Valley Conference regular season game there. Got a message about 5 p.m. that they need to reschedule. So gonna hopefully try and move that to somewhere. So you might not see the last regular season game there. But on Thursday, we'll have the last regular season Valorant match for the MVC starting at 6 p.m. And then Friday at 7 p.m. we'll actually have the Valorant team's first ever NECC playoff game. They made it in their first ever season. They'll be there at 7 p.m. And then Saturday, starting at like noon, and then probably almost all day, we'll have Smash Bros. And we'll have Overwatch as we host both St. Xavier and Albion for their GLEC matches. So we'll be live probably like 8 hours that day. So there will be plenty of stuff going on, people to watch. I think a good multitude of casters, hopefully some people from both of those schools coming in as well and hopping on the mic. So plenty of content this week. I know we had a 2-week lull. Also want to remind everybody that Valpo Day is coming up on April 8th, the university's Day of Giving. So I think technically those links are already out there. So, but we're going to be live with a 24-hour live stream. And there will be lots of stuff, and there will be goals with things that can happen.
Yep.
So keep a lookout for that April 8th all day. I mean, 24 hours. I once it hits midnight, we're going live. So there will be a lot of people involved with that because 24 hours is a long stream.
Yeah, it's a fun rotation, but obviously, you know, we do something new for Valpo Day every year. It's just what we do here. So excited for that, but like George said, if you ever missed us during spring break, we are coming back with more content that you probably saw even before the break. So in the span of like 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
we're pushing it all out there. I'm excited. Should be a good time. But that's gonna be it from us here in the booth. Thank you guys for all the likes, comments, follows, and subscribes. Thank you for all the support. This has been Diadem. This is my co-host.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you guys at the start of the next stream.